This week I'm driving the 2021 Chrysler Pacifica Pinnacle Edition. This is the top luxurious minivan you can get. All right, first minivan on the channel and also the first Chrysler. Chrysler doesn't do a lot of models anymore. They only do the Grand Caravan, the Pacifica, and also the 300C. That's it pretty much for Chrysler. It's not what it used to be. But if we're looking at this Pacifica Pinnacle Edition, you know, if we compare this model to the Grand Caravan, this one's more aggressive, more sport, a little bit shorter also. We've got a bigger grille, all in black mesh. We got also some aggressive headlights here. Good looking for a minivan. You got also some metal brush 20 inches wheels on this Pinnacle Edition. I really like, you know, all around those windows, we got that brush, aluminum, brush metal. It's not chrome. Good, nice finish. And if we step on the back of this Pacifica, we got a huge light going across the rear. And also we have this all-wheel drive logo here because this minivan is all-wheel drive. Now if we look at the cargo space of this Pacifica comes with the stow and go system. Super practical, gives you tons of space, especially when the seats are up. You've got that really nice compartment here. Really ideal to you do your grocery stores and you know things don't move that way. If you need a little bit more space, you can put down those seats. Your floor comes completely flat, super practical. But on this model, because it's the Pinnacle model, we have some really nice captain chair on the second row. So the second row is not a stow and go. I wish it would be, but you wouldn't be able to have those fancy seats. Also, we can notice here we've got a hitch. You can tow up to 3,600 pounds. Not too shabby for a minivan. You know, usually about the same size. If we're looking at SUVs, you can tow up to 5,000 pounds. But, you know, ideally, you know, towing with a minivan, it's not the best thing. But now with this all-wheel drive and this setup, you're able to tow 3,600 pounds. So it's not bad and it's practical. Under the hood, we can find a V6 3.6 liter, good for 287 horsepower and 262 foot-pounds of torque. This engine is matched to a 9-speed transmission. The Pentastar engine, we can find it in a lot of products at the Stellantis group, inside of the Wrangler, the Rango, etc. So this, you know, this engine I've proven its value. So I approve the choose of this engine under the hood of this Pacifica. If we step in the back of the Pacifica, we have both doors. We can open it with the remote. Super practical. You can also use your foot to open them. Pretty cool. First thing you notice inside of this Pacifica is this brand new interior. Really nice finish. Diamond stitching. Some piping on the side. We have this nice pillow with diamond stitching again with the logo of Chrysler for your lower back while you're riding inside of your Pacifica Pinnacle. So, you know, in the back of this Pacifica, really comfortable, you know, I can fit easily here. I've got a nice screen here with a bunch of apps and stuff on it. You can play some games with the other, you know, passenger inside of your Pacifica. You've got also a bunch of USB ports. Actually, you have 12 of them inside of this Pacifica. That's pretty amazing. You have also a HDMI outlet here, so you can plug in either an Xbox, a PS5 or something like that. So that's pretty cool. You've got a huge panoramic roof inside of here, really comfortable, you know, really fun to be inside of this Pacifica with this huge roof. Underneath my feet, we've got some cargo management. Unfortunately, this Pinnacle Edition is not a stow and go in the second row, but we're still having some cargo space here. Really practical, you know, if you want to hide some stuff. Now if I step in the back, I'm pretty tall, you know, to fit back here, but still I'm able to fit. I'm pretty comfortable too. I got plenty of, you know, room for my head. We've got another sunroof here, you know. Even if you're in the last row, you know, it's not, you know, because you're in the last row and you've got the, you know, kind of like the bad seat, you know, sunroof and all that. You still have the sunroof. You're still able to incline your seat just like that. So that's really, really cool. That gives you a little bit more space also. And finally, you've got some shade also. So either if you're in the second row or the last row, you've got that shade on. Last but not least, we've got the stow and vac just right here. So you've got a vacuum inside of your Pacifica. So if you have something, you know, you want to vacuum, really practical, especially if you look at the competition. Usually this is in the trunk. Now it's in the last row. A little bit more practical, you know. Usually when you have something messy, it's in between those two rows. So really nice to have that little vacuum. All right, on the road with the Chrysler Pacifica. You know, I'm surprised this week. It's pretty fun to drive this Pacifica. It's not boring. You know, usually a minivan, it's not a lot of fun. The handling is terrible. You've got a lot of wheel spin because it's a big V6 front-wheel drive. But, you know, this Pacifica, it's really well made. I think the team at Chrysler really thought what they were doing with this. You know, at first I thought it was just like a Dodge Caravan or a Grand Caravan who's been tuned up to be a fancy Chrysler, but it's not the case. This Pacifica, it's really different from the Grand Caravan. I think it's shorter too, it's smaller. But inside it's really well made. It's really easy to drive. I see all around easily. For someone who doesn't want an SUV, they found it too big or too bulky or hard to park. I think this van is a great option. You don't lose any space inside, but you know, super easy to park. It fits really well, you know, doing a parallel park in the city. So that's one of the key advantage of this Pacifica. So performance-wise, this thing is not slow. Let's test the 0 to 100. There you go. You can do the 0 to 100 in about 7.3 seconds. You know, it's pretty decent. You know, I drove a bunch of cars who were not able to do these kind of numbers previously. So for a minivan, it's pretty quick. You know, you've got a great all-wheel drive. Unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of snow this week. I was not able to really test that all-wheel drive. But you know, just by the way this thing drives, you can really feel, you know, the all-wheel drive. It's lower to the ground. It doesn't feel like the typical, you know, front-wheel drive minivan. No wheel spin, you know, it gives you confidence, you know, to have more grip, especially with a front-wheel drive minivan. Sometimes you're not able to go pretty much anywhere. You don't have a lot of traction, and also sometimes, you know, back in the day, I remember a lot of people were breaking their transmission during the winter because they were stuck and they were a little bit rougher with their drive and reverse, you know, shifting, I could say. They had a lot of problems with that back in the day. The driving dynamics of this van, you know, you're lower to the ground. You've got a good all-wheel drive system. Of course, you can really push it a little bit more than the typical, you know, SUV on the market. And this is more fun to drive. It feels more like a car than an SUV. Now I'm approaching my famous curve where I test all my cars. Let's see how it does. You know, pretty decent, and that's where the all-wheel drive really shine. Gives you a lot of grip in those curves. So yeah, pretty cool for a minivan. Interior wise, this Pinnacle interior is really nice. You know, it's the top dog, I could say, in the Pacifica lineup. You got a lot of details. You got a nice wood trim. Those seats are just really nice for a minivan. A lot of details. You even have like some little leather pillows in the back. Those seats are pretty comfortable too. I like the color and everything. Obviously, you know, this Pinnacle model, it's not the best for your family. You know, I wouldn't see like the kids all muddy or your baby puking on those seats. I think this Pinnacle edition, it's really for you know, the guys are going to Myrtle Beach, play golf, and you know, it matched with the name of it, Pinnacle, you know, just like the golf balls. It's a golf joke, you know. Well, you know, I think I see, you know, those golfers, you know, with a fancy van buying this type of models. But, you know, the overall, you know, super nice inside. Everything is made to be safe with the kids. You've got all your controls pretty close to you. You've got a pretty cool thing also I discovered this week. You've got the fam cam, so you can watch your kids in the back. So with this cam, you see pretty much all the seats, and you can see each seats, you know, with your screen. So you know, if they're fighting in the back, you just have to press on your fam cam. You can see what's going on. You don't have to turn around and watch what's going on. You can easily see what's going on there. Also, when you're opening your doors for your kids, they open automatically with a press of a button. The Pacifica put itself on the 4 ways. Everything is really safe and made to be, you know, carrying your family and all that. I really like that. The screens works pretty well, you know. It's the typical, you know, FCA Stellantis, you know, screen. I'm not lost. It's a little bit different in the Chrysler. One thing I don't like in this Pacifica, you know, they put the buttons for the heated steering wheel and seats on the screen. When it's really cold, you know, I need some real hard button to press on it. Inside, it's pretty spacious, like I said, but, you know, from the outside, it's not that big. You know, I think it's way easier to drive this Pacifica than a Dodge Grand Caravan. Easier to park, easier to fit pretty much anywhere. That's one of the big plus of this van. It's so much easier to drive than any SUVs or any other van I drove before. I think for you, if you're you used to drive small cars, now you have a bigger family and you're worried to drive a big car and have a hard time to drive it. Fuel economy wise, this week I was averaging around 10 to 11 liters per 100 kilometers. It's pretty decent for this type of vehicle, I could say, with an all-wheel drive system. If you're looking for fuel economy, you can also opt for the Pacifica plug-in hybrid. You're gonna save on fuel, and also you can run on electric. So that can be a plus for you if you're looking for something like that. But you know, it's right on the spot with the other, you know, mid-size SUVs. I was doing about the same fuel economy with the Kia Telluride, the Palisade, you know, other SUVs like that. I was doing a little bit better with the Acadia and the Traverse, but still, you know, they're all playing in the same range. Price-wise, you can get a base Pacifica around $38,000. A base Pinnacle model is gonna run you around $66,000. And the model I'm driving this week is just underneath $69,000. Yes, $69,000, it's a lot of money. There's a lot of competition for the same price. And that's probably why we don't see a lot of these on the road. So overall, you know, I was pretty impressed this week with this Pacifica. It's fun to drive, it's not boring, super easy, it's nice inside. But exterior wise, you know, it's still a minivan. So you have to really like those type of cars. You know, usually when I go to the gym, there's always someone who's like, oh, cool car, you've got that new this or new that, or this one's really cool. This week, you know, I didn't have any comments on my Pacifica. So yeah, a lot of people don't see a minivan as a cool car, I could say. But you know, I think it's great to still have an option for these type of cars on the market. Unfortunately, you know, these days there's not a ton of option for a cheap 7 or 8 passenger. I think when you're a big family and you don't have a lot of money, usually when you have a lot of money, it's hard on the budget. We used to have, you know, that great price with the Dodge Grand Caravan at really low price. Not sure if they're gonna still continue to do those models. I think it's gonna be discontinued on the Dodge side. So, you know, if you have a big family, it starts to be pretty expensive to enter in a new car. So a lot of, you know, big families gonna opt for a used car instead of a new one, I could say. So let me know what you think. Do you think those minivans are cool, or the SUVs gonna make them disappear? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. You can also join me on Facebook and Instagram. And we're gonna see each other on the next review.